We are blitzing the bye week this week on Orange and Blue Blitz. We are going over the midseason report card for the Denver Broncos. We're going to go over every position group and give our grades so far in the season. Also, we're going to talk about who we should sign potentially in the bye week to finish off the season going into this playoff run. We're also going to discuss injuries, who could return back from injury from this bye week, and also the free agents that are coming up and who we could possibly re-sign and who will we let go. Good afternoon, good morning, good evening, wherever you are. Welcome to another episode of Orange and Blue Blitz, brought to you by the Orange and Blue Network. I'm your host, Bronco Gentleman, and welcome on.
Tune in, now it's time to sit. Orange and blue, we never quit. Broncos pride is lit legit. Every week we're bringing grit. Orange and blue, we bring the heat. Podcast grind and can't be beat. Every play, every style we meet. Blitz so hard it's on repeat. My high dreams we elevate. Break it down, we narrate. From the field to the fan debate. Broncos country, we dominate. We got the passion, we got the drive. Orange and blue keeps us alive. Every tackle, every stride. It's the Blitz where legends thrive.
Welcome on in, everyone. Welcome on in. With me today again is the host with the most, Michael Yost, the Bronco Grunt. What's up, Mike?
Oh, just watching. I don't think anybody had on their bingo card Josh Allen going from 6 touchdowns in one game to 0 and an interception the very next. So it's kind of NFL, dude. This season's been nuts, dude. This season's been nuts.
Yeah.
So
AFC is after that game last night. Absolutely shook up some things in the AFC. So far on the update that I've seen, Chargers fans are shook, and I'm pretty sure the Chargers will not make the playoffs this year. As a matter of fact, we'll just talk about it quickly. That game last night, Mike. We'll go ahead and go over that game last night and what that looks like for the AFC. Does it affect the Broncos? No, because these are the Broncos up here. We're up. You can't even see us because we're on the screen. This is the Broncos up here. This was everybody else battling, so we got to kind of just watch from below, from above, look down below. Appreciate the thumbs up, guys. But yeah, last night. So the Chargers fans are panicking because they have no offensive line, and they have to play the Texans, the Cowboys, the Eagles, and the Broncos, all elite defensive lines. And so I believe the Chargers will be falling out of the playoffs. I think this year won't be 3 AFC West teams. I think it's going to be 3 AFC South teams. And there's a possibility there's only one AFC West team that makes the playoffs this year, and it's the Broncos. So I could see the Colts, Jaguars, and the Texans making it. The Ravens making it, representing the AFC North. The Patriots making it to represent the AFC East, the Colts being the AFC South, and then you've got 3 slots behind that. And I see the Jaguars, the Texans, and that last slot is probably going to be up for grabs between the Chiefs, the Steelers. Am I missing a third team in there? Maybe the Chargers. Would the Chargers be that third team fighting for no, the Bills. The Bills. You have the Bills fighting for that last spot. So to be the Jaguars, the Texans, with those 2 slots in the AFC South, and for that last 7 seed, you have the Chiefs, the Bills, and the Steelers fighting for that 7th slot. So there's a possibility that the Steelers push out and finish this. It'll be there's a possibility that Josh Allen and Patrick Mahomes may not even make the playoffs this year, because if the Patriots beat the Bills that second time and the Steelers continue to win, that would not, because the Chiefs lose all those tiebreakers because the Colts and the Texans play each other, and the Jaguars and the Texans and Colts all play each other. So the AFC South is going to cannibalize each other. So there's going to be some teams watching as well. Bronco Rob in the house. He says, best in the West, baby. Best in the West. We're best in the West. We're the best in the AFC. But yes, I had to sit back a couple times this week and really sit back and really ponder. We really are 9-2 going into the bye week. I guess I predicted that, but I wasn't. Sometimes as we have our orange and blue glasses on and we're like, but this is legit. Bronco Rob makes a comment about who we could sign in the bye week, and he says running backs for sure. Rob, you're jumping ahead. Please stop predicting the show. But that's an easy answer. That's not a hard giveaway. But yes, I also want to hear who you guys think we should sign. Obviously, that's also not a hard question. The Shy in the house says best team in the West. That is correct, Shy. But guys, since we're already here and you guys already jumped ahead, make sure you guys like this video, subscribe to this channel, and share this video with your friends and family. You can follow us on Twitter, YouTube, Facebook, and anywhere you listen to your favorite podcast. And I know we started the spinning the wheel again. I'm pretty sure we have another winner. I want to update and see how that giveaway goes. But we're going to start the path to 750. Start right back over, start the new giveaway. Make sure you subscribe to YouTube and your subscription, your YouTube channel is on public, so that way you can be a giveaway. Now, you can keep it on private until the giveaway, because if you like to keep your YouTube private, I don't want you guys to make it public just for us. But if you want to keep it private, and then when the giveaway starts, you put it on public, so that way you're in the running. When the giveaway stops, you can put it back on private. So that's pretty good. But make sure you guys are subscribed as well, and you guys don't want to miss any of the shows, because even though we had a bye week, we have shows every single day of the week. We are talking Broncos, and we're also talking other Denver sports. So you guys, we didn't miss a show. If you guys are out there and it's barren out there in the footballless desert and you miss hearing about the Broncos, you could tune in to every day of the week, including today, where we have Orange and Blue Blitz. And then later on this evening, for our Spanish-speaking Broncos fans, we have Viva Los Broncos as well, with Bronco Libre, who is a representative, who's a part-time representative for the official Denver Broncos in speaking Spanish. So Viva Los Broncos is a great source for that. And I really believe that's going to end up being one of our bigger shows, because it is unique. And it is it's unique, and it's caught up with the times. A lot of times people move from TV broadcasting to podcasting, and seeing that this may be the only Spanish-speaking Broncos podcast. I believe this show has great potential. So make sure you guys hit the notification bell, so that way you guys don't miss any of the shows. Michael, so what do you think about the AFC picture shaping up so far?
So AFC picture shaping up so far. I mean, we're solid. We're going to the playoffs, right? That's easy. Broncos are in, right? As long as we don't lose every single game, right, from here on out, right? Which I don't think that's going to be an issue. Coming into it, we have New England. New England's killing it. The only thing that's separating them and us from first place is the percentage. So I think that's going to be a close game. I'm really excited to see the outcome of this week's game versus Indiana and KC. I so badly want the Colts to absolutely put the final nail in the coffin on KC. That's what we.
I agree.
I agree. It's not because I'm not afraid of KC in the playoffs or anything like that. I just don't want to deal with them. And I think that's a fair statement, right? We're not afraid of them. We just went there, we beat them. We're no longer afraid, of that giant. But I mean, the other team that you left out that's still in the hunt right now is the Ravens. The Ravens are still in the hunt against KC right now. So this week's big for both of them. All right, because we could see Lamar in the playoffs.
I think, but I put the Steelers in the hunt because I think the Ravens are going to win the division.
I think what a lot of people and a lot of these AFC teams, I think the biggest struggle, which I don't think it's ours. I think ours is so we have some other stuff going on our offense, but a lot of these offenses in the AFC, their O line is terrible. The O line is terrible. The Bills O line terrible. The Steelers, I think it's Aaron. I mean, honestly, at the end of the day, that man is old, right? He's still a threat. He's still, he still plays as good a football as he can. But I mean, we're not talking about Aaron Rodgers from 10, 15 years ago, right? Especially when he was playing for Green Bay. But like Ravens O line terrible. Lamar is getting pressured every which way he goes, right? And they're starting to pick up on if we shut down his legs, he's fine. Like we're gonna get his ass. And then Houston has the same, like with Houston still fighting for it. I mean their O line is terrible, and they've got Davis Mills right now at center, and so they're struggling to just kind of keep their head above water. They're definitely kind of in the same boat as us, except we've been able to capitalize better than they have to get those points up to where like their defense is dragging them along, right? So I think that as far as the AFC, it's going to be a split. I'd want to, as long as we can get our offense moving, we're going to be fine. As long as we stop with this malarkey of trick plays and not capitalizing on huge momentum plays, like I was talking about on Tuesday in the Nothing Rhymes podcast, it annoys me when we have a 60, it turned out to be a 70-yard punt return, and we don't capitalize with 7 on the board. We only get a field goal. We can't settle for that. We cannot settle for field goals in the playoffs. We can't. Not against some of these guys that are going to be there, right? Because we all know what Josh Allen can do. Right? He did it happen last night. His O-line got tore up. He got tore up. Everybody has a bad day, but on average, we go up against the Bills in the playoffs, it's going to be just like last season. They're going to knock us out. So that's what I think.
Yeah, I think you made a lot of good points, and I agree with a lot of what you said. And it's just interesting to watch. And speaking of so far and going into the future, before we discuss what can carry us, I want to talk about what has carried us so far, and that's going to give us our mid-season report card. And this is where we're going to go down each position group on the offense and defense, and we'll touch special teams as well. And we're going to me and Mike are going to give an A through F grade. Plus and minuses are a part of this. And we're going to see how much we agree on and how much we know ball and where we see at. And we want to hear you guys as well. So for the first one, we're going to start with, let's go ahead and start with the defense. And then we're going to go, we'll go to the offense next. So on the defense, let's go with linebackers. If you had to give a grade on the linebackers so far this season, Michael, what grade would you give them and why?
Here, they're our linebacking our linebackers are S tier. I don't think anybody's gonna be able to argue that. Like everybody's calling out for Myles Garrett to be Defensive Player of the Year. Right. The only reason why they're calling him to be Defensive Player of the Year is because that's all the Browns have. He is the Browns defense, right? Versus we have a stack set of Myles Garrett's. Oh, Nick, you guys want to double team Nick Bonito? Cool. Cooper's going to get you. Oh, you want to sit there and try to, pass over the middle when the game counts? Shanaz's going to be there to pick up an interception. Oh, one of our guys, Alex Singleton, right? He's out because he's got some, health issues. Hey, don't worry. McMillan's going to show up. He's going to fill that slot. He's going to get an interception on Pat Mahomes. I don't think you can't drop. Our linebackers are S tier linebackers, plain and simple.
Yeah, so if there was a grade, because S isn't a grade.
Oh, sorry, A plus.
Would it be A plus?
A plus.
A plus. Yeah, it was I wouldn't go as high as A plus. I would go B plus. I think the first few weeks start off a little rough. Jonathan Taylor, maybe even Saquon a little bit on the passes, but Sternad's been the constant. I think he's 3.5 sacks. I think his pass rush win rate as an inside linebacker is incredible. And so Alex Singleton has stepped it up really in his run stopping. He's back to himself, and Greenlaw has stepped up those last few weeks and really been a difference maker. And I think just the health and the rotation of these linebackers, they're really starting to flow into it. And one of the things we're going to talk about later is who could possibly return. And one of them is going to be the green dot, the captain. And so I'm interested to see with the rest of the defense how we can flow into that. So Michael gave them an A plus. I gave him I'll go B plus. So let's go to defensive line. And this we'll consider the edge rushers as part of the defensive line. I'll go first for this one. I'm going to go ahead. Obviously, I think this should be pretty. I'm going to go A plus for the defensive line this year. So far, I mean, obviously, we're leading the league in sacks again by a wide margin. Not only that, we're on pace to break the season record sacks. We broke the franchise record sacks last year. We're on track to break it again this year and this season. The run defense has gotten a lot better. The rotation, I think the thing I'm most excited about, and especially when it comes to this run defense, is did you know that Owazurike is one of the best run-stopping interior defensive linemen in the NFL?
I did not, but now I do.
So you have DJ Jones, who was already considered one of the best run-stopping nose tackles. Then you got Malcolm Roach back, and when he got back, especially against the Jets, the run defense got even better. So then you got Jonathan Franklin-Myers, Zach Allen, Owazurike. Stavion Jones can't even get a jersey. Is Jordan Jackson on the practice squad? But Owazurike, so that rotation and health of guys. So you got Jonah Ellis, Dondrea Tillman has 2 interceptions already this year. And so Q Robinson has stepped up the last couple of games with Jonah Ellis being out. I think he had half a sack last game. So I would give the defensive line so far an A plus. What about you, Mike?
Zach Allen's my guy, so A plus. Zach Allen's my guy. Like, I can't stop singing that dude's praises enough. Zach Allen's my homie. I love that dude. I love that guy so much. Every time he's on the field, I'm like, yeah, someone's getting touched. No, all right, I agree with you. A plus. There's really not much more to be said. Yeah, sure. At the beginning, right, trying to kind of figure it out. Yeah, we hit some bumps, but you know what? We sat there and we were talking about sacks, right? And I mean, every game I've been saying, like, our average is 3 sacks a game, at least, right? And we sat there and we go up against KC, and don't get me wrong. I mean, look, Patrick Mahomes is really good. You know, when he's in the pocket, he's really good. He's out of the pocket, right? He's really good at those speed tosses, those speed passes. And the fact that we still maintained our 3 sack average against him speaks for the defensive line itself. You know, so yeah, A plus.
Yeah, and one thing that I will give us credit for is one thing that we struggled against in the past that we've done an excellent job the last couple of years that I really noticed and really, really good at it this year is we're really good against quarterbacks who can run. Quarterbacks who are good with their legs. We've done a good job of caging them in the last couple of years where they don't just run all over us. And I think it's part of that going against Bo Nix in practice, learning how to cage a rushing quarterback. But I will say that has helped us. And so that's going to do D-line. So it's pretty A plus. So we got A+ for the linebackers from Michael, B+ from me for the linebackers, both A+ for the D line. So far, according to Mike, this defense is so far getting straight A's. Me, they're at a 3.8, maybe a 3.9. They're on that cusp, 3.95. All right, let's go to the secondary. That secondary, we're going to go DBs, and then we're going to break them down by position groups. We're going to go DBs, and we're going to go safeties. So let's go DBs. It's probably one of the most – linebacker used to be one of the most controversial, but I think DBs is the most controversial. So, Mike, I went first last time, so this time you tell us, what is your grade for the defensive back group so far this season?
Honestly, I think I'm probably going to put defensive backs at B-.
Okay.
And I think that's fair.
Okay.
Just due to, I mean, even we were all joking about, like it's a bye week and somehow Riley Moss has been flagged for pass interference. With Pat Surtain out, with Riley Moss and Riley Moss getting flagged like crazy, and you have rookie Jade Barron, and Jade is still learning. I'm not going to be too critical on him, right? He's a rookie, but as far as Riley's performance, he's doing his best. I do think a lot of the flags that are caught on him are ridiculous. I mean, I watched last night. I mean, blatant defensive pass interference. It was Bills. It was whoever it was. But the defensive back had homie by the arm, right? As they're running, like holding his arm as they're running down the field. They weren't hand fighting. He was just holding his arm, and the ball ended up going a little bit further. I'm like, how is that not pass interference? And my father was like, "Oh, well, the catch wasn't, the pass wasn't catchable." And I was like, "Yeah, because he's getting pulled back trying to get to the ball. Like that's defensive pass interference." So I mean, like if that was that was on us, like that had been Riley for sure, right? That's getting called. But I mean, Riley's trying his best. We haven't really seen any. We've seen a couple big plays from him, but nothing too crazy. And Pat Surtain, right? Even when he was playing, we have yet to see a Pat Surtain interception, right? We've yet to see. We've seen a couple of good pass blocks, cool. But we haven't seen much. I think the only one in our secondary that actually has a reception technically he has two. One of them got called back, and that was Jade. Jade has had two interceptions this year. So he had one against,
Jaquan.
No, not Jaquan. No, Jade. Jade had the one.
Jaquan also has an interception. He had one against the Chiefs, and Brandon Jones has an interception.
Brandon Jones interception?
Earlier in the year, I didn't think it was against the Titans.
No, because we didn't have it. No, it
was against the Chargers. Against the Chargers, because Riley Moss had that pass breakup, and Brandon Jones caught the deflection.
Did he? Because we were saying that. Because as I remember, we were saying that there hadn't been an interception until the Stranad one against the Giants.
No, Brandon Jones had that interception. Riley Moss had that PBU, and Brandon Jones picked it off. So we have Brandon Jones had the first interception. DeAndre Tillman has 2. Justin Stranad has 1. Jade Barron has 1, and Jaquan has 1.
Yeah. So I mean,
we're in our turnover. We're in that. So Stranad. So we had one, but we were in a drought until Stranad. And now with Stranad had the started that momentum of turnover. So I think we've had a turnover every game since then. And so now you can see we've got like 6 or 7 interceptions on the season. So we've had quite a few. A few. So I would I'd give him a B-. B-. I'd give him a C.
So I was thinking about that. I thought okay.
I go C+. I think earlier in the year, Pat got tested, but he bounced back. And then Riley's flags, he said he's going to start wearing the boxing gloves, so that means that he can't grab as he's defending. So that way, that's going to create a new habit, new muscle memory. I think that Jahdae Barron and Chris Abrams-Drain stepping up these last few weeks and still winning and not being liabilities has really saved this secondary. Has saved this DB room, and I think that's really good. This is Chris Abrams-Drain's second year. This is Jahdae's first year, and I think there's we'll talk about that in the free agent conversation, and who's going to be signed and re-signed. And if you want to pull anything up and have anything ready, Mike, have that pulled up. Who's going to be free agents next year for the Broncos? And so I think that's going to be important. So Mike's going to go with B minus. I'm going to go with C plus. So we're close there. Finally, we're going to go ahead and go with the safety room. So that's pretty easy. Talanoa Hufanga and Brennan Jones. Throw PJ Locke, JL Skinner in there on special teams. I'm going to go ahead and go with A plus. They don't give up many big plays. Talanoa Hufanga is everywhere. And if Talanoa Hufanga could catch the ball, he would have like 4 or 5 interceptions. He would probably be in Defensive Player of the Year conversations, if I'm being honest. If he had 4 or 5, if he could catch the ball, because he's everywhere. Covering tight ends, screens, he's incredible. And Brandon Jones just does what Brandon Jones does. And one of the things that one of the stats that I learned from both safeties was that they're both like top 5, top 10 in the NFL in run stopping and run tackling. So we have 2 really good run stopping safeties who can, and like I said, we said earlier in the year, hey, Brandon Jones played last year as that strong safety and led the team in tackles last year. So we know he can tackle. So then you bring in Talanoa Hufanga who can do that at even a better rate. And you let Brandon Jones be Brandon Jones. We don't give up many big plays. We give up defensive pass interference big plays. And so I think I found this interesting, Mike, and I'm gonna let you go after this. Van Joseph did his interview with Pete Schrager, and if you saw clips of it, there was one where he was talking about Pat Surtain, and he said he said Pat Surtain is he's a servant leader. He said Riley Moss, that's his guy. And Van Joseph said, I can't get too mad at Riley Moss because if I get mad at Riley Moss, Pat's gonna get mad at me. So Pat Surtain is very protective of Riley Moss. And I think if those defensive pass interference, which I think are going to come back and bite Riley Moss, which we'll talk about in the next segment. But yeah, what's your grade for the safety room?
For the safety room, I mean, Johnny sees this, he's going to be upset with me. Honestly, I'm gonna give it a B. Very, very, very close, very, very close to being a B minus. Only because with Hufanga being back there, here's our free safety, and he's made some big plays, right? He's stifled runs, right? He's had good pass defense. But I have yet to see a very good swing play come out of something that a safety has done, right? It's most of our defensive backs, linebackers, and defensive line, right? And that's probably why we haven't seen that much, right? Is because every time someone tries to go for a deep pass, right, or anything like that, we're breaking down that O-line and we're getting to the quarterback. So that's probably the main reason. So that's what I said. I think I give them a B just predominantly because we haven't seen any huge plays come from there, with the exception of Hufanga coming up and stifling the run every now and again.
So that's fair.
That's about where I'm at.
That's fair. Okay, yeah, Johnny's gonna hate that. But that's fair. So overall, the defense gives an average of about an average of a B plus. I think between both of us, they give B plus. And so they've done well all season. And so we're gonna go over to the offense, which should all right. Let's get to the offense.
It's about to get rough in here.
We're gonna roll through this because we got 2 other segments. All right, we're gonna start off with the quarterback. I'm gonna give him a B minus. His stats are better than they are last year. He's on pace to improve, in every statistical category except for probably passing percentage, and that's what brings down his quarterback rating or his passer rating. But he's doing better in every statistic. 2, he's shown that he's got the clutch gene. He's the most clutch quarterback in the NFL right now, which goes well with our defense. 3, he's still the least sacked quarterback in the NFL. That's a constant, a consistent. 4, he's still a low turnover rate ratio quarterback. He's got the lowest turnover worthy plays in the NFL. We're hard on him as Broncos fans because we watch him so intently. But he's got less turnovers than Justin Herbert, Geno Smith. He's got more touchdowns than Josh Allen. So he's top 5 to 10 in most statistical categories, and we're 9-2. And so I don't think with Russell Wilson and Jared Stidham we'll be 9-2 because I don't know if they have the clutch gene that Bo Nix has. And as we saw last night with this Houston team, that 25, 30-yard run that we had, that Bo Nix had against Houston, that's a clutch gene. That's something that we're not going to get with either one of those quarterbacks. So I'm grateful that it's Bo. He started off rough. I know he can be efficient, but I put him in the B- range because although he has been inefficient and low percentage sometimes, and he has quite a few bad games, he's improved, and we're 9-2. So that's why that's my grade for him. Michael.
So I'm going to give him a C. I'm going to give him a flat C. And here's my reasoning. Yes, he's a clutch player. Yes, I'll give you that. Yes, he is. Do I think he is leadership-wise, he's very good? Absolutely. All right. As don't think I've seen in a long time, almost every player, right, both offensive and defensive, defend their quarterback as much as I have seen our guys do it, right? Every time they're in the locker room, every time they're talking to the media, they're right. I think Troutman said it last. He's like, anybody that's coming after Bo and social media, you're a coward. Like, that takes loyalty, right? And that takes trust from your teammates. So I give him a C for that. The reason I give him a C, the reason I don't give him a higher one is because, yes, he's clutch, but the fact of the matter remains is that he's had a lot of issues overthrowing, and let's be honest, passing-wise, he is absent more often than not for 3 quarters, right? He'll have a couple of good passes here and there for 3 quarters, right? And then the 4th quarter, when we're down or it's a close game, we don't know which way it's going to, which way the pendulum's going to swing. That's when all of a sudden we get that clutch, now he's, dotting up Cortland Sutton for first downs under 2-man coverage. So when he's dotting up Troy Franklin finally under, 2 or 3-man coverage, he's still learning. He's still improving, right? I have faith that he's going to get better. One day he will, in my opinion, if he continues his trajectory, he will be an A+ quarterback. I have no doubt in that. But right now, as we sit seeing the season, the reason we're 9-2 is not because Bo Nix is the best quarterback in the league. Okay, we're not 9-2 because Bo Nix is the best. He's the shiftiest quarterback in the league that can escape, get out of the pocket, and go run into. He has before. We've seen it, right? But it's all win in the 4th quarter when it's a close game or in a 19-point deficit, right? Because of that, I'm going to be inconsistent for 3 quarters and then consistent for 1. He gets a C from me.
Well, we're hoping that this Chiefs game where he was consistent all game for the first time, that could be a he was definitely 27 to 34 for 295 yards. That was not all 4th quarter. You don't go 7 incompletions for almost 300 yards in just the 4th quarter. But what I'm saying is that's something to build on. I agree with you, but that is something to build on coming out of the bye week against the Chiefs defense that people consider top 5. They consider the Chiefs defense top 5, and they consider the Chiefs offense top 5. And Bo Nix guided them up, tore Spagnuolo up. So that's another confidence builder for Bo. He looked good. So we're gonna build on that. But I can see where you're coming from the C grade. I can see where you're coming from the C grade. The plus gene really helped for me to give him that B minus, but it was hard for me between C and B.
Listen, look, if you look at it, right, if that, like, take off the orange and the orange and blue goggles, right? If you look at it, right, and this was just a random quarterback, right, not playing for the Denver Broncos, right? Let's be honest, you'd give him a C grade, right?
Top 5,
right? You would, like, clutch gene or not.
Yeah.
That's what I think. Like I said,
yeah.
like, it, as much as I want to sit there and be like both like B plus, maybe A minus, right? Because he's that dog, right? I can't when it's like, hey, heads or tails, which bow we getting today? So that's my thing.
All right, let's fly through these. We're gonna go to the running back room. B minus again. B minus. J.K. Dobbins really had his. I think J.K. Dobbins had his at an A until he got hurt. I think going forward, it's not going to be as good. But I will say R.J. Harvey having 5 total touchdowns. So far as a rookie, he's turned into a running back joker. I want to see him do more in the run game. And we'll go to later who could possibly be signed. But so far, this isn't just about the future. It's about so far. And so far, the Broncos had a good running back room this season so far. So I'm going to go with a B minus, but I could hear C plus. Mike?
For me, it's going to be a C. Again, it's a flat C. I mean, running, honestly, leaning closer to C minus. J.K. Dobbins was our RB1, helped in that when we gave him the ball, when we ran the ball, right? I mean, he was putting up numbers, he was putting up stats. Like I said, I had no issues with J.K. Dobbins. RJ's a really, really good reception back, right? He's a receiving back. He's very good at it. When we get down to the 15 to the 10-yard line, right? We all know what's probably going to happen, right? It's going to be it's going to be a reception to RJ, and he's going to get that touchdown. As far as rushing, though, we struggle, whether it be play calling or whether it be now, especially with Dobbins being hurt. I think that's going to bring us down. RJ's a rookie, right? And so I kind of level him with the same way that I do Jade. I'm not going to sit there and be like, he's terrible. He's absolutely god awful. He's a rookie, right? This is a big learning year for him. So I don't expect him to come out and be Jonathan Taylor year one, right? I don't expect him to be 2024 Saquon year one, right? I don't think anybody can. And if you did, you're setting, not only that, you're setting him up for failure, but also you're just unrealistic expectations, right? Like everybody was, when Ashton John, when Genty, right, came in to the draft, right? Everybody was hyping him up. Oh, whoever gets Genty is gonna have, just a heck of a freaking running back room. Oh, Austin Genty this, oh, Austin Genty that. Really good. Plays for the Raiders. Struggling, right? Struggling. Has some good breakout plays, just like RJ, but he's struggling. Why? Because he's a rookie, right? Everybody's expectation was that guy was, come out and, automatically put up, 1,500-yard, rushing season. Didn't happen, right? Not when you're in the NFL. Not a chance. So as far as our running back room, I'm gonna give him a C just because with Dobbins being out and with RJ being a rookie, and the fact that our play calling when it comes to running is abysmal. They're gonna get a C. If Jay was there, I'd probably raise that to a B minus.
I will say this before I move forward. I don't think it's fair to dock the running back room for the play calling. That's not their fault. But I will say in the runs that we did have, JK was top 5, maybe even top 3 as little as we did. So I wouldn't dock them for the play calling. But I think, going forward, it's going to be a C. Offensive line. I'm going to go with We're going B plus. I want to give them an A. If you hear A minus, they're still the best pass protecting offensive line in the league. They're doing well without Ben Powers. Maybe they're even with J.K. Dobbins, their run game was good. This last couple weeks, it's been okay, but we've had tough guys. 2 sacks last game, but still, Bo Nix is still the least sacked. Good amount of time. Bo Nix is clean. I'd like to see more in the run game, but that's also in the play calling, so I'm not going to dock them for that. So I'm going to go B plus. Mike?
I'll give him. I'll agree with you on a B plus for the offensive line. When we've gone up against these defenses where that they have, these star players, like I think about the Raiders game, right? It's a terrible game. Don't get me wrong. Wasn't terrible because of our offensive line, right? Offensive line kept Crosby in a box the entire time, right? I think I agree with you when it comes to giving Bo that time in the pocket, right? Or making those holes. I think our O line has been pretty good. There's always room for improvement, right?
Mm-hmm.
We're not out there. We're not out there just absolutely floundering. And I think the other thing that you didn't bring up is penalties. Penalties from the O line have been not too bad.
No, not at all. Not at all.
I want to say not too bad.
So they mostly come from the tight ends. They don't come.
So,
and our offense isn't pen. I think it started off bad, but it kind of tailed off. They mostly came from defense and special teams. It wasn't.
I feel like our offensive line, like as long as for false starts, right? All that stuff. Our offensive line hadn't been too bad about that. So again, I'll give them a B plus.
Think about it. We don't false start.
No.
Interesting.
Well,
yeah, they're together. They play together most of the time, and so yeah, good point. All right, last group on the offense, receiver group.
Does it include tight ends? You want their tight ends of that?
Yeah, we'll do receivers and tight ends together.
Okay.
So I'm gonna go receivers. I'm gonna go with this. Oh man, I'm gonna go with this C. I think Courtland Sutton has been involved, so his drops have been less. He's been clutch a lot more. I think Troy Franklin's getting targeted a lot, overthrows, drops, but he's definitely improved from last year. He's definitely improved. He looks like he can be an 800-yard, 8-touchdown receiver this year. He's definitely improved. What stopped me from giving them a D was Pat Bryant. Pat Bryant has emerged. Not just Pat Bryant. The receivers' run blocking has been really, really good this year. It's been really good this year. They're really good run blocking receivers, and that's really important. And so Pat Bryant also brings that to the team. I think Pat Bryant would bring some leadership in that run blocking area, but he's also got great hands, and he's really clutch. And I really like Pat Bryant, and I see what Sean Payton saw him when he said the Michael Thomas comp, because he doesn't drop anything. He's such a good receiver. I love Pat Bryant. Big fan. And so, but I think that, like I said, this past game built momentum. I want to see more back shoulder throws to Sutton. Bo Nix and Sutton haven't been connecting on those this year. I want to see more of those. Marvin Mims, can't forget Marvin Mims. He's been out. He was out the last couple of weeks. He came back. It looks like they're slowly but surely bringing him back into the offense as well. And so I can go C plus area. I do see what Sean Payton sees in this wide receiver group. I like our wide receivers. I do. I like Pat Bryant. I like Marvin Mims. Those two are the most sure-handed guys. Our speed guys are Franklin and Mims. And then Courtland Sutton's just a vet, third down specialist. Red zone, if you need him, go up and get a guy. I like our wide receiver group. I really, really do. And we have them for a few more years. And I think this could be a really, really good top 10 wide receiver core. I can see the vision. So I'm going to give them a C for right now, though. Mike?
I'll give them a C minus. I agree with you. I do like this receiver room. I do. I do think that we need to make a bid on a new receiver or in a trade for a receiver. Just because Cortland Sutton is very good. Cortland Sutton is not a wide receiver one. He's not. We're not treating him like he's a wide receiver one, right? We see in the past couple games, I mean, I want to say at least 3 or 4, where Torrey Franklin has been out targeted, or he's been out targeted by Torrey Franklin. So, and we've had a lot of drops. Pat Bryant, I got nothing wrong to say about Pat Bryant. That man has come in so clutch for us.
He's like the best receiver on the team. He's the best overall receiver. He blocks and catches just as well as he does either one of them. I think he's the best receiver on the team.
Since we looped tight ends into this, that's the other reason why it's a C minus. Evan Ingram have not seen a lot from him. Right. Again, I put a lot of that on Bo. I put it because a lot of the passes that get tossed when those plays do come up, they're not great passes from Bo. Right. Whether it's timing's off, whether it's thrown across the body towards him, whether it's a check down, and it's by that time it's too late. He's either at the line of scrimmage or right behind it, and there's a defender on him. Right. So yeah, cool, you got the completion, but you got nothing for it. But I mean the pass rush for tight ends has been non-existent, right? During the trade deadline, we were all praying to God that we'd get a tight end that could block, and we didn't pick one up. So pass defense or pass rush defense for tight ends is non-existent. Poor utilization of tight ends. Not, like I said, not necessarily on them, but also when Ingram does get the ball, isn't making a lot of good progress. And Troy Franklin is dropping the ball. Like, I need that man to go and invest in some new gloves or something. I just need that when the ball is in his hands, he needs to be able to suck it in, and he needs to be able to make those catches. There's no reason for him to not, because I mean, there's been plenty of times where it's hit him dead in the chest, and he still somehow just doesn't make that catch. And he gives up on plays. And he gives up on plays. That's the other issue I have with Troy Franklin. Troy Franklin will stop running, and you can't do that. You can't do that when the game's on the line. Especially
if there's anybody that's a trade candidate, it'd probably be Troy Franklin. You would include in that trade. He's the less sure-handed one, and I think that you can find a replacement like a Jalen Waddle, definitely to fill him in.
Garrett Wilson. Oh, you saying that name?
Who's on a gigantic contract?
But the Jets have no draft capital. So,
all right, guys, we are going to the next segment. We're going to fly through these. They have plenty of draft capital. They just made all those trades. They have plenty of draft capital. They have but this next segment is getting healthy because after the bye week, there are quite a few players that have been practicing on the side field. Doing some therapy that are supposed to come back, that we're expecting to come back. A couple of those off the top of my head are Pat Surtain and Nate Adkins. Now, we mentioned the report card for the defensive backs earlier, and that's without Pat Surtain these last couple of weeks, and now he's coming back. And so the Houston Texans had a good showing last night, although I will say Bo Nix threw 2 touchdowns and had 1 sack against this elite defense, and we won and had a game-winning drive. It's hard to do that. Josh Allen couldn't do what Bo Nix did, but not everybody can do what Bo Nix does because Bo Nix is one of one. That being said, this defense is going to look even better with Pat Surtain back because now Johnny Barron has played outside, he's played inside, and Vance Joseph also said this in the interview. I've heard people say it. A lot of people must not have paid attention to the game or listened to Vance Joseph's interview because Vance Joseph said against the Chiefs, Johnny Barron was starting in base opposite Riley Moss. It wasn't Chris Abrams-Drain. It was Johnny Barron. So it was Riley Moss and Johnny Barron took Pat Surtain's side. And so not only can he play the nickel and the dime and the star and the double-A mug blitz or look like blitz with simulated pressure, but he can also play outside. So you take that knowledge of him playing everywhere so far as rookie season, and now you put him back in his solidified spot, and now he knows that much more. And now he can play that much better with that much more confidence. He had an interception against The Cowboys, he almost had a pick six. He should have had a pick six against Pat Surtain.
Robbed against Pat Mahomes.
Pat Mahomes. Yeah, robbed that pick six. And so he's doing well against tight ends. He's and so now you've got a tight end stopper, a wide receiver one stopper. If Riley Moss can get his stop being grabby, if he can stop being grabby, then that's going to be different. Jaquan is having a huge season so far. And so, yeah, with Patrick Tan getting back, especially with the middle of the field is basically closed. So with Taldo Hufanga and Drake Greenlaw and Sternad and McMahon, they can't really throw in the middle of the field. That's been closed for several weeks now, especially with Drake Greenlaw coming back. So the defense is just going to go that much more. And another one we're going to be expecting back is Nate Atkins, our tight end 3, who really makes this offense go a little bit more, and that's going to help with this run game with J.K. Dobbins being out. And so what that's going to do, and we also saw Ben Powers. We haven't heard about Drew Sanders. So there's a couple people we're expecting back. Jonah Ellis as well. We should be expecting Jonah Ellis to come back healthy. So we should be fully healthy. So that's going to give us a good boost. And then this last segment is who can help. And I think there's a question of who should we sign in this bye week to help us push us forward. And I think there's only really one position. And I'm going to say running back. Mike, do you agree with that?
Yeah, we're gonna. It's so hard. It's so hard to sit there and justify the spending of money on a position. If it doesn't matter, we could go out and get the best running back in the league, right? That's a free agent right now. But if we're not going to utilize them, then why do it? Why not stick with what we have and save that capital?
Well, what I will say is in defense of that is when we did run the ball, and JK averaged about 15 to 20 rushes a game. He was top 5 in the league in rushing. So it's
100%. But what you just said, when we do,
yeah.
Sure.
So, but the lack of J.K. Dobbins means that not only will those opportunities, some of those disappear, but the opportunities that we're given won't be as explosive. And I think with bringing in a running back, that allows RJ Harvey to go back to what he was doing as a joker in his rookie season and allow someone else to do the carries. Because the more he runs the ball, the less you can use him in the backfield. And the passes, the less you use him in the backfield, the more you have to use Bidet and Jalil. And we don't want that. That 1-2 duo was really, really, really good. And Sean Payton said that before J.K. Dobbins got hurt, and he was averaging 15 to 20 yards, 70 to 80 yards a game, top 5 rushing in the NFL behind this offensive line with Ben Powers out, and then R.J. Harvey was averaging almost a receiving touchdown a game. It was perfect, and it was basically perfect. And I'm thinking, if you have the opportunity to do that again. Why pass up on that? Especially if we're 9-2, and the longer we get on the stretch, the more the run game becomes important, and that includes the playoffs. I don't think you're giving us enough credit, Sean Payton, enough credit for the runs that we have called, and the amount of rushing attempts that we have. Where it wasn't. Bo Nix has thrown the most in the NFL, but we also ran the ball quite a bit too. And so I think with the lack of a running back, that puts us back to last year. But I'm saying, hey, there's a guy that just got released by the Texans, Dameon Pierce. Go sign him, put him and RJ Harvey back in the 1-2 duo for the bye week, and you just finish the season like that. And then maybe Dameon Pierce, who's 25 and still on his rookie contract. Maybe he might be the running back in the future. So it's not just what can he be for this year, but hey, can we keep RJ Harvey? Do we have to go search again, or can we find a guy for this year, and including going into next year? Because we thought J.K. Dobbins would get a contract, but if he's got another injury that puts him out the rest of the season, I don't think we're going to give him a contract. But Dameon Pierce, who's young and 25, may be the guy for that, who's healthy now. He is healthy. And so that's why I'm saying, why not? But go ahead, Mike, before we close out.
I said you want to go out and get a running back. I'm not saying I'm against it. I'm saying if you do it, then use them, right? Especially coming into the post end of the season. And I look to Sean Payton for that. I know that's strictly in Sean Payton's hands, right?
Yep.
Go out, go get a running back, but use them. Don't just get them and then you keep doing what we're doing. Like I said, walking into this postseason and walking into these playoffs, I'm hopeful but nervous, right? And that's mostly just because we need to start putting sevens on the board instead of threes. We need to start putting sevens on the board.
Yep. I agree, and that's definitely something that I think we're going to start out of this bye week against this Commanders team, with or without Jaden Daniels. I think that's is going to carry.
I'm not worried about the Commanders. Like they're on a bye week too. It really doesn't matter to me. Like
I think the Commanders and Raiders are two teams that we're going to put some more. So we're going to have a bounce back game against the Raiders, and so I think it's going to put us on a good trajectory to start putting up points. I think our offense is going to hit a stride and momentum going into the postseason, and our defense is only going to get better. But guys, that's going to be it for the Orange and Blue Blitz show with Michael, the host with the most Yost. Today was co-hosting with us again today. We love having Michael here. Guys, don't forget to like, subscribe, and share this video. Follow us on all the social media channels you guys have. Don't forget to tune in tonight to Viva's Los Broncos, and don't forget to hit the notification bell so you guys don't miss any of our shows. We love you guys. Mahai salute. We'll see you guys tonight, and we'll see you guys again on Monday for another episode of Orange and Blue Blitz, because that's how we're going to start the week off. We're going to reflect on Sunday's games, and that's how we're going to start the week off, getting ready for the Commanders. We love you all, and we'll see you guys next week.